Has that special socket monkey touch done the job again? That's 2 times this car has nearly gone full brick mode with a low 12-volt battery, and I guess maybe my timing is just impeccable. Caught it just in time. Hey there, Brandon here, Socket Monkey Garage. How are you doing? It's been a while. In fact, it's been a while since I've just gotten in a car and gone for a drive. Reason being is, I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and as you can see, spring has sprung. It's very, very green. And my property is surrounded by, let me just share here a quick view. I have these enormous old growth oak trees. We are blessed to have, acre and a half here. It's very heavily wooded on one side, and we've got some big old trees you can see up over there. And you know what that means? If you live in an area like that this time of year, it's the great pollinating. I like to refer to it as the green monster has arrived, and it's all over all the cars. Even the Z4 that's kept in the garage. Obviously the garage door isn't sealing perfectly, and there's enough of that fine powdery green dust to even get inside there and cover that. So I've put off, going on some drives. We've also had a few bands of storms that have come through and just really made it not a very conducive environment for taking out cars that I've spent a little bit of money on. So I'm ready to get out there. So I'm gonna hop into BMW here, gonna drive over to the shop over at Southeast there, grab the Charger and take it for a drive because I'm anxious to show you now that I've unlocked all the full power, all the performance capabilities. Let's get out there and run some numbers, man. Let's just see what that thing can do when I open it up. And let's talk about some of the good news that's going on around this car that might balance out all of the bad. Brandon didn't know it yet, but that shiny new Daytona, she ain't going nowhere. Bless his heart, he's got more optimism than a preacher on Sunday, but this here day's about to throw him a curveball right out of left field. We're not going to spoil anything for him now and take that smile off his face, but we'll catch up with him later and just see what that car's got in store for this boy. Come with me, let's go. The Z4, just a real quick update. I know I haven't had a chance to get many videos about this car out. There's just been so much going on with the Charger that it is sort of kind of taking all the time and all the effort and energy. And I think it's unfair to this car because it is exceptional. It's an incredible car for what it's made for. It is a bit sad to see the news that they are discontinuing the G29, which is the platform that this and the Toyota Super Mark V are based off of. So if you've been on the fence, I highly suggest you go grab one or the other, but I really, really do recommend that you get it with that baby right there. And in fact, I'll have a video coming out. I've ordered a few things to customize this car with, and I'm starting with this gear shift here. Add a little bit of personality to the car. But as you can see, even inside, just from the couple of times I've taken it out to keep it running and keep it going, still haven't broken it in. I think I have about 700 more miles In the break-in period here, it's 1,200 on this B58. Inline 6, twin scroll turbocharged. I believe it's twin. It's turbocharged. I'll put it here on this screen if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous car. And this is an absolutely gorgeous day. So I'm looking forward to taking it over to Southeast and check it out on the Charger. Let's go. But yeah, let's drop this top. Let's put this baby in sport mode. So that engages the Sport Plus, as you can see there. And then I'm gonna drop the top. Now I haven't put a stationary camera on the car, so holding this and driving with a 6-speed might be a bit of a challenge. And I know there's a few of you who are going to comment at how unsafe I'm doing this, so I appreciate your concern. Probably not for me, it's probably for everyone else on the road, which even if I had both hands on the wheel, let's be real, everyone else on the road's at risk. Anyway, let's go. All right, so you make great plans. You have all the good intentions in the world. You know, my plan was to come out, pick this car up, take it out, do some performance runs. And I'm sure as you've seen other YouTubers with these cars say that the higher the battery is charged, the more power it can put down. So I wanted to make sure it had at least 80%. And so what I did is I left it on the charger for about a week. It's been about a week since I drove the car last weekend. And when I got here, you know, you just saw that I just unplugged it. But when I came to start the car and turn it on, apparently it only had 46%. And when I went to turn it on here, I started getting a whole slew of error messages. I got a service, there it is, service airbag warning, SOS, call unavailable, emergency call error, service active dampening system, a flashing odometer, and it's only at 46%. It's been sitting here for a week on a level 2, or actually I think it's a level 1 charger I put it on. But what the heck? So then I opened up the battery monitor app that I have with the battery monitor on this thing, and let's get it here where you can see this a little bit better. And it's at 11.9. And if we go here and look at the numbers, that's just for today. But if we go back and look at the last 7 days while it was sitting here, you know, there's me driving it last weekend, and you can just see that downward decline. Now, granted, it's a little flat, but obviously, looking at this, the car didn't charge. And that's clearly below the threshold. It's obviously going to set a lot of low voltage errors, and I knew it. I knew the moment I produced any kind of video that had a negative slant on this car, it was going to come back and bite me on the ass, and it certainly has. So let me get a battery booster on this thing, see if we can get that 12-volt battery back to a, I think it's above 12.1 or 12.2. See if that'll clear these codes and I can get to a DC fast charger and actually save this video today. Otherwise, I will apologize to everyone. It's not going to be the video I wanted, but it's going to be the video you get. So let me just pop the hood here, get that battery booster connected, and see if we can resurrect this. Otherwise, it's time to call the tow truck, send it to the dealer, and probably have it sit for some time since everything's sort of shut down right now with Stellantis in these cars. So fingers crossed. we can get this thing up and running again. But wow, yeah, why am I not surprised? I kept thinking when I was reading the forums and talking to people and commiserating with those that have these cars and they're having problems, I kept thinking to myself, man, I'm really glad I don't have any problems with mine. But then sure enough, 11.8. Yeah. Wow. Well, okay. Let's see what we can do to fix it. Let's see if it ends up having enough power to even pop the frunk here. Hey, all right. So not a complete brick at the moment. Partially bricked, how about that? And apparently keeping this in the frunk was a good idea. Just grab this here so you guys can kind of follow along what I'm doing. I know everyone kind of laughed at me during the one video where I had to crawl into the back of the car. Thankfully though, this is working. But one of the things I am concerned with, because I have seen and I have heard that going this route, which is the smarter route to go, can bring its own kind of slew of issues that maybe sometimes the car actually doesn't allow, or it sort of limits how much power can come through this remote jump terminal here. And that's why I went directly to the battery and had to crawl into the car last time. And that's maybe what we'll do. It is depleting this. Looks like I need to charge this guy here, but let's just see how that does. Let's look, see if the battery monitor application indicates it's being charged here. Yeah, so clearly now you can see, the battery's now down to 77%, but it is at 12.58. Let's see if we can get it started here before it dips down any further, because it is starting to drop. Once we can get it started, that will get the high voltage battery engaged in the wow, it's acting really, really weird. Well, it did come on, but I do have the little turtle. I do have a few different flashing lights here. We are in turtle mode. Let's see what the internal gauges for the 12-volt battery are showing. All right, so it's showing 14.6. Let's let it just sit here like this for a bit. So just let it charge and see what happens. Let's check the app as well. Yeah, so that just goes to show you how accurate these Bluetooth battery monitors are. It's pretty much right in line. If we look at the graph here, you can see a pretty big spike there. So the high voltage battery is now supplementing and recharging the 12-volt auxiliary battery, but we are not free from issues at this point. But we're just going to let the car sit here for now. In fact, so I can spare my buddy Jake here the misery of listening to this thing just sit here and purr. I'm going to shut the EV sound off and let it recover a bit, and then see what happens. Maybe what I'll do is, while I'm sitting here waiting for this to recharge the 12-volt battery, maybe I'll go and talk to Jake and see if Jake needs a hand with that Suzuki Cara. All right, so up behind me here on the lift is a Suzuki Cara, rather rare cousin to the AZ1, for those that maybe aren't familiar with the ABC of the K cars here. We did have a Beat around here and a Cappuccino, but they aren't here today. Here, actually, let me take you over here because this is an excellent example of another version of the same car. This one's in silver. This one's in a little bit better condition, maybe, than the car itself. It's rather lovely little car, really tiny, almost impossible for me to get in and out of. But Jake here has been kind enough to let me kind of butt into his work as he drops the fuel tank on the car. Apparently it's been having some fuel system, injector issue, filter issues, and yeah, I'd say that might have been what contributed to it.
Yeah, it was full of mud. I cleaned all that, all came out with the fuel that I drained earlier, and now I'm just clearing it out so I can throw some evapor rust in it and try and get what's left in the tank. Hopefully I don't have to reseal it. The Mazda 323 GTX injectors are going to go into a bath here soon and take an ultrasonic dip, get all shaken up, and then hopefully I get all my ponies back. And I tried dailing it last week and it was just sputtering and dying, and the fuel filter that I swapped out with a Jimny one was full of mud, what came out of the tank. Luckily nothing for this car exists anymore, so yeah, I got to make what I have work. The Suzuki stuff that I usually am able to find for crossover parts from an Alto is not the same as this. The fuel system is bespoke as far as gaskets go. So I'm probably going to have to, I have fuel safe RTV that I'll probably have to reseal it with. But everything else is good.
So when you've got corrosion like we have inside that fuel tank there, what do you do, once you've dried it out, once you've kind of knocked the nasty out?
You have a couple options, depending on how much time you got. You could throw vinegar in there, and that'll, depending on how bad it is, if you have an old motorcycle, there are kits to reseal it. You neutralize the rust, clean it out, and then there's a cream that you can put in there to seal it. A lot of old motorcycle guys use those. I've used muriatic acid, I've used vinegar, but they also just have evapor rust, or we got like 4 different ways of neutralizing rust here. Just using some unbranded rust dissolver.
Not a sponsor, but
from O'Reilly's, and it did a really good job on that Daihatsu over there, so I'm going to give it a shot.
So what do you think is that ethanol-based fuel attracting water molecules, and then is it just age?
This car sat for years. Yeah. I have a thinking that this car, they did all their mods to it in the mid-2000s, and then it sat for 10 to 15 years, and then somebody threw fuel in it and decided they wanted to sell it. There's a bunch of stuff like the intake charge pipe being off when I pulled the access cover on it. There's a lot of things saying they'd just hacked it back together enough to make it run and then put it on auction. So I'm just going through the motions right now. I redid the floor a couple weeks ago, and that's holed up so far. My driveway tried to take it out, but that failed. It's pretty good, but also, there was it was very low on oil. It's not burning any, but it was charcoal black, and it was probably about half a quart low. So
ooh, that doesn't sound
just
good.
Minimal effort to make this thing run again and then chuck it. And I've had it almost 2 years now. I never got around to an oil change, so it's all partially my fault. But it's coming along.
One of the issues with having multiple cars is finding the time to keep all of them properly cared for.
Which now I got 6.
Yeah.
And this is the easiest to get parts for. Because of everything being Alto underneath it, aside from the Geo Metro front end I put under it, everything I more or less have just been able to Google search and get within a couple days.
You're taller than I am, and you have no problems getting in and out of this thing and driving it?
Well, that's just because of the seat that I put in it.
Oh, okay. Because back when you guys had the red AZ1, I tried.
Well, if it's stock, the mod to do is just pull the seat cushion out from under you, and that'll give you easily another 2 inches of headroom. You're still not comfortable in it. This car was never meant to fit a human being. even by Japanese standards, this is a very unaccommodating car. It's like a stiletto. It just looks really cool, but it's uncomfy, and it was never meant to be used, let alone modified to the extent that this one has been.
Maybe they just expected people to buy them and put them in a
Yeah.
garage and make them garage queens and never actually...
It's a very cool toy, but the seat that I got out of a wrecked Federal Elise, now I have it actually bolted into the car. Allows for me, I'm 6'2". I got all the room in the world.
Yeah. You got in that a lot easier than I did when I tried. Of course, you probably got it a few more times.
Wrist is perfectly over the top of the steering wheel. I have access to every gear except fifth because it's under my leg.
Your knees aren't hitting the turnstock like on some of the K trucks.
Before, yeah, my knees are in the dashboard, even with the seat all the way back. And I still have more room to go back there. Driving this thing to work the other day, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It felt normal. And now that it's low enough, I'm perfectly eye level over it, so I can actually use the rear view and see everything. It's a great mod. A lot of Miata guys steal the seats out of Elises and stick them in there. This is about as low to the floor as you can possibly get a seat to be in anything. But I didn't have room for any kind of sliding rail. I bought a couple, and none of them worked because the seat base is too wide for you to bolt anything to it. I have to redo all the brackets, and I just didn't care. I'm the only one that drives this car, or probably ever will.
Yeah.
So.
Well, don't let me stop you. I appreciate you letting me kind of jump in here and...
Oh no, I'm killing time until that heats up now. I think I evaporated all the fuel out of the tank, so this is...
The smell of gasoline's dissipated quite a bit. So.
Yeah. Where are we at now? 43. All right, so I'm getting up there, and then I can throw the injectors in there, and I'll go grab some lunch.
So let's go check in on the Charger here, see where we're at. All right, so it's at 14.25, says it's still charging. Car is on, car is plugged in. The high voltage battery is charging. Get inside this bad boy again here. One interesting thing is turtle mode's off. The odometer has stopped flashing. The only error message currently displayed is the fact that the frunk is open. Let's go through the menu here, see if we can get to the message screen. No stored messages, so has that special Socket Monkey touch done the job again? That's 2 times this car has nearly gone full brick mode with a low 12-volt battery, and I guess maybe my timing is just impeccable. Caught it just in time, got it back to life here. Now let's just see what traffic looks like on the way to the closest DC fast charger. Take this thing, get it fully charged, get back out on the road and do what I intended to do today, and bring you all along with me. Before we do that, let's take an opportunity to go down there, hit that like button, and more importantly, that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave a comment. What do you think so far? Do you think I got what I deserved? Or do you just think it was fortuitous that I showed up when I did, before this thing was Brick City? Let me know down there. Oh, real quick. This is what I was talking about, one of my other videos. This is one of the cover panels. As you can see, there are all these little clips, but this one here, it's not like the others. It's missing, it's broken. Looks like maybe someone got a little too exuberant in the removal of it. If you are a Charger Daytona owner, I would highly advise that you get yourself one of these. Now, not specifically this Van True version. This was a freebie that came with a dash cam order that I had, but it has saved the day now. on 2 different occasions with this car. And as we'll remember here, thanks again to Jordan the tech in recommending the right way to close this frunk. So if we're going to do this right, we lower it here. We're not going to slam it down, and we're just going to, I don't really like putting my palms on a dirty hood. Everything, it just goes against everything. Is that something that bothers you? But I'm also a big rule follower. And so we're going to do as they say. Since this is going on the internet, I don't want them to deny my warranty claim if that latch. Oh, it's in. All right. We'll see if that broke it or not. Get the little plug put back in. All right, so I've got to get that 500E out of the way and then head back over here, get this pulled out, get the Z4 pulled in here out of Jake's way, and we can hit the road. So let's head over to the DC fast chargers at the stadium in downtown Chattanooga. Get this up to 80%. And then head back over to Mexico for some performance driving. Let's see what I can do as far as 0 to 60, quarter mile time. Maybe if I can find a big enough safe in a parking lot, we can do donut. But that remains to be seen. So it looks like they're having an event here, but thankfully they have left these fast chargers accessible, which is rare when they have events here at this space near the stadium in Chattanooga. Arrived at the DC fast charger here behind me. I'm just going to fire up the app. It's been a while actually since I have used my Electrify America app. I believe I actually still have some credit remaining that came with the EV9. So let's see if we can make this stop free. And then also while I'm at it, I'm going to change. Let's just see here, I'll walk you guys through it. I'm going to change the battery limit. So it's currently, wow, it's not even responding. Look at that. That responds. Go here. Try electric drive. Nope, that's EV sound. Maybe the car needs to be on to change these settings. That's kind of odd if that's the case. All I really wanted to do was, yeah, look at this. This menu is not even responding at all. Nothing, like nothing at all for that. But then back here, and wow, okay. Well, maybe I won't be able to change the at least that works and responds. What I'm really trying to do is change the, see if that'll take me to, how about that? No, no. Hey! It's still not responding. Well, it's currently set to limit the charge amount to 80%. And I guess I'm stuck with that since, as you can all see, car system's not even responding to any input from me. It's not letting me go in at all and change those drive settings. So that's a real shame. I really would like for it to allow me to do that. But I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get this thing charged up and back on the road and actually do what I intended to do with this video all along. Well, folks, I'm pretty sure by now you figured out when you hear my voice, that means bad news is coming for the Brandon. And boy, has he got a heap of trouble heading his direction with that DC fast charger. But you know what? We're out of time this week, and perhaps we need to give him a break. So why don't you tune in next week and find out what happens, because I can guarantee you it ain't what he's expecting, and it certainly isn't what you're expecting either. So for me, I'm just going to say thanks. We're going to wrap it up here and let this guy take a break. See you next week, folks. I tried. I really did try. My plan was to put out the video I did earlier regarding all the bad news about the car. I planned to follow it immediately up with a video focused on all the good stuff about the car. And unfortunately, the car just isn't cooperating. And I think normally some people would be, all right, scrap this. I'll come back another day. But I think I'm going to release this video just as it is, unedited, so you can see this. And hopefully, everyone at Dodge, if you're watching, I'm one of your most tolerant supporters here. But I'm saying that that tolerance level has a limit, and you are bouncing up against it. So if the message isn't coming through clear, let me state this very plainly. I've been waiting over 30 days for parts to fix my car. My control stack, my seat fan, still aren't in. I clearly have some issues going on that require updates, as you saw earlier with all the error messages. Why did the car stop charging? Why did it stick at 46% instead of 80%? Why did the 12-volt battery crater right before all of our eyes? What's going on? We need answers. We're smart people. At least we like to think we are. This one in particular does. And he's asking you to speak to me intelligently about what is wrong with this car, what your roadmap to fixing it is. We're all very patient people. If you say it's going to take 5 weeks, then it's going to take 5 weeks. Some of us will bail, force you to buy these cars back. Others are going to sit around and wait for that to happen. I just want to get out and drive this car. That's all I've wanted to do all day long. And look where I'm at now. I'm stuck at a charging station, unable to charge, and I'm basically going to take the car back. I'm still...